Well, guys, let's do this real quick. We're getting ready to bring this to the end. Let's take about the last 5 minutes here. I know this is a big one, but let's try to round this up on number 5 here. Okay, number 5 is keep your children, and Ian, you just mentioned it. Keep your children isolated from the world rather than teaching them to engage it. I've said over and over again, it is very, very possible for us to shelter our children and without ever shepherding our children. So you guys chime in here. This is gonna round us out here in the next 5 minutes, and then we'll have some fun here. But I don't want to shortchange this at all.
You make mention all the time, right, that God has established the family first, and so when you read in Scripture about faith as it relates to the family, God has designed the family, right? Deuteronomy 6. God has designed the family to be a faith family first. But there's also this understanding that this faith family belongs to a greater family, that this extended family is greater, and that is the fellowship of believers as it relates to surrounding one another so that parents and children can thrive in their relationship with the Lord and with each other.
Yeah.
And to go back to what I said during our first point is parents are paralyzed with the world their children are coming to know, but they're not giving as much care and attention to the church that they're coming to know.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to be a people that are concerned more with the world, the church that they're coming to know, than the world that they're coming to know, because we can make a significant impact when it comes to the church that they're coming to know. And we can have not a whole lot to do with the things going on in pop culture.
Good. Ian.
I think to this point, and one way that I've seen it well, I don't think I grew up homeschooled, not necessarily as what we all, you get branded as a weird homeschooler if you're a homeschooler. So not in that way. My mom and dad just believed that was their primary ministry and what they wanted to do. And there were a lot of things that I wasn't allowed to watch or engage in. And you look back and think they're goofy. They're things my parents watched. Like I couldn't watch Harry Potter or, and some of them seemed inconsistent. Like I couldn't watch Harry Potter, but I could watch Star Wars. And so, but all of that to say, when we talk about isolate, that's not what we mean. When we talk about isolate, when I remember that the Catholic abuse scandal came out when I was a kid, and my parents didn't go weird on that, but they didn't shy away from it. When we talked about purity, they talked about purity. When we talked about, my parents very much instilled in me the idea of Philippians 2:12, that we're called to work out our salvation with fear and trembling. And so I think that we make a false extreme of saying, well, if you're going to invest in your child, or if you're going to not isolate them, then you just have to give them wholly over to the world. No, you don't. We need to let them and teach them the principles of how to make decisions and how to engage with the world that they're in. And if you isolate them from everything and never engage those things out of fear, those are the kids that go nuts because they don't know how to engage it and how to make decisions based on it. And so that for us, I think that's a big thing, is whether it's another religion, whether it's other religions, whether it's pure. I mean, right now we have the most oversexed culture in history. So that always is the theme that comes up, and a world that just pushes pleasure and enjoyment over all things.
And that's an old problem, just with new twists.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right.
It's
That's
more,
right.
more availability, more accountability. But I would just tell parents, and I'd say this, and for families, the enemy doesn't play by any rules. That's why your 4-year-old has to have a filter on their iPad, because you never know what's coming for him. So you need to make sure that you're equipping your child to play in a world with no rules.
Yep.
And that's not hiding.
And may we always understand that without the knowledge of brokenness, the gospel doesn't make sense. And that doesn't mean that we should throw our children into the brokenness, but we should teach them how to just effectively engage it and carry the gospel into a lost world.
Yep.
So, Amen.
Hey,
100%.
Go ahead, John. You got something to add there?
No, I was just affirming that, and I think that's a great place to end it as we go into this debate round.
All right, guys, stay tuned. We're going to have a little bit of a great debate with John Oliver and Ian Dunaway for the first time right here on the NonStop Family Podcast. Let's go. right, guys, we are in with the NonStop Families Podcast in a brand new section. Normally at this time, we would do 5 questions with our guests, but Ian has already done 5 questions when he was on an episode prior to this. And I figured, you know what? It's not fun just to have John do 5 questions and have Ian kind of sit there. You know, what do you I mean, am I right there? Come on, guys. We got to do something a little bit more entertaining than that.
I would enjoy the answers. You know, I think that my charm in life and my quality is what Zoom attacks, and that is the ability to just sneak things in quickly and easily. But every time I say something pithy, everybody's like, "Wait, what? Did you want to say something?" So anyway, I'm just saying, I would be happy to listen.
So we've decided to do a little thing that we're going to call the Great Debate. All right, the NonStop Families Podcast, Great Debate. And guys, here's what's going to happen. We are going to answer the age-old question: who would win in a fight? All right, so I'm going to give you guys are going to choose at random these characters that I have laid out. I've numbered them all, so whatever number you choose is the fighter you get. And then I'm going to draw at random a couple of attribute cards to add to your fighter that you must go with. All right? Everybody, okay. You guys cool? Here's the way it's going to work.
Attributes to add to the fighter that we have to go with.
Attributes to add to the fighter. So myself, Stephen Bell, will work as moderator for this fight. Each of our contestants, Ian and John, will be given 30 seconds to state their case, followed by a 30-second rebuttal from the other person. And then I will then choose based on who I think would win based on their arguments, all right? So there we go. Guys, I've got 6 categories for you to choose from starting out, and those categories are as follows. You have the Animal Kingdom, at the movies, group battle, politics, celebrities, and a random wild card category, all right? So, John, since you're the newest one to the podcast, I'm going to let you choose the category, and then Ian will get to choose numbers 1 through 5 as to what his fighter is going to be in that category. All right?
Okay. And so we're talking Animal Kingdom,
at the movies, group battle, politics, celebrities, and the random wild card category.
I think it's John jumped on it in a good way because we have a shared note where we keep stuff for the T, and I just got an update on my computer that said, John Oliver is editing. And I'm like, what's this fool doing? And he's got the whole list of them. So I was like, well played, John. Well played.
All right, John, what's the first category? Here we go.
All right, I'm going to start with politics.
Politics. All right, so here we go. Ian, you've got numbers 1 through 5, and I will tell you who your fighter is. So you choose 1 through 5.
3.
All right. Ian, your fighter is Barack Obama. All right. So, all right. And John, who is your fighter? Is number 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I'm going to go 4.
4 is George W. Bush. All right. Barack Obama versus George W. Bush. Now, here come the random attributes. All right. Ian, you get 2 random attributes that I will draw out of my bag here. First of all, Barack Obama.
Okay.
Is elderly, for one. So you've got an elderly Barack Obama. And your other category, now these could be good, these could be just really, really bad. Who knows? Your other category, he explodes if he stops moving. All right? So an elderly Barack Obama who explodes if he stops moving.
Speed 3. Speed 3.
I literally was thinking Speed 3.
John, you got George W. Bush wearing a jetpack. All right?
Come on!
His entire body is very sticky. All right? So here we go.
I already know how I'm going to win. Go ahead, Ian.
Ian, you've got 30 seconds.
To explain how I'm going to win in a fight?
To explain how an elderly Barack Obama who explodes if he stops moving is going to end in a fight with a George W. Bush who is wearing a jetpack and is very sticky. Go.
All right. So it's very simple. Elderly Barack Obama, clearly on either a Segway or a scooter, because that's what old people do. So he's going to be chasing, and it's George W. Bush isn't paying attention and or thinking about Camp David, where he uses his chainsaw. Barack Obama's just going to run up and hug him in his stickiness. And then at that point, when George Bush stops moving or he runs out of jetpack fuel, he explodes. This is a classic kamikaze mission from an American president.
There's your 30 seconds. Rebuttal. John, go.
Okay, rebuttal. I'm going to put the jetpack on, get it all sticky. Right?
Okay.
Then I'm going to put it on the elderly Barack Obama. And he's not going to be able to move because it's so heavy because he's elderly. And it's going to make him blow up while I watch him blow up without me there.
I don't know. I don't get to
saying,
choose, but I'm just
He's
saying.
elderly. He's not strong.
All right. Guys, I have to go one way on this. So you both had 30 seconds to argue there. So
I didn't take 30 seconds because it was that easy, Steve.
You didn't. I'm going to award this to John. I'm sorry, Ian.
Come on!
No, listen, man. Yours ends with both of them gone, man. I mean, somebody has to walk away with the victory here.
It was a planned kamikaze situation.
Yeah, but we're Americans. We don't do kamikaze, Ian. We're Americans.
Well, I'm not going to go any further with that.
Yeah.
All right, Ian. Here we go. Choose from one of these 5 categories: the animal kingdom, at the movies, group battle, celebrities, or random wild card in our great debate.
At the movies.
At the movies. All right. John, 1 through 5. Pick
2.
a fighter. Number 2, John, your fighter is Forrest Gump.
Yes.
Ian, 1, 3, 4, or 5?
5.
It is going to be Forrest Gump versus the Incredible Hulk. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Ian has the Incredible Hulk. John has Forrest Gump.
Sorry, I ruined your gamma ray party.
Let's see what Forrest Gump's attributes are. Forrest Gump just drank 5 energy drinks. That's his first. That's his first.
I'm running.
And his second attributes, his hands are covered in butter. All right, those are the 2 attributes that Forrest Gump has. He just drank 5 energy drinks, and his hands are covered in butter. And he's fighting the Incredible Hulk, Ian.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, who throws 200-mile-an-hour fastballs and controls a tween army.
Fair.
So, John, you need a miracle in my opinion here, man. So, John, you're going to start. You've got Forrest Gump, who's just drank 5 energy drinks and hands are covered in butter. Who would win in a fight? Go.
So I'm going to pick the battleground.
Ooh.
Battleground is going to be a hill. I'm going to take the high ground, and I'm going to go up to the high ground, and I'm going to take my butter hands, and I'm going to wipe the whole side of the hillside with butter, and I'm going to grease it up real good. I'm going to be at the top of the hill, right? The top of the hill. And I've got so much energy that I do it real quick, right? Because I drank 5 energy drinks. So I'm ready. I am alert. I am acutely aware. And it's Forrest Gump, right? So he knows life is like a box of chocolates. He knows you never know what you're going to get. So he's ready for everything, and he's ready for anything. And so as he's up there, he's going to let that tween army try to climb that butter. They're not going to be able to get to him. So they're a non-factor, right? And the Hulk, he can jump up there, but all he's got to do is outrun him. So he can just run him down and get him to slip down that butter slide hill.
I've given you way more than 30 seconds, but it was worth it to talk about Forrest Gump with butter hands. There you go. Ian, the Incredible Hulk throws 200-mile-an-hour fastballs and controls a tween army. Go.
So, Steven, I don't know if this requires a lot of creativity or effort, but I'm going to say that the Hulk commands his tween army to get on TikTok and to start shooting some TikToks of this whole situation. They surround Forrest Gump. And, yes, he does know life's like a box of chocolates. And so the Hulk throws a 200-mile-an-hour fastball directly at his head, but doesn't stop because once it's gone, the Hulk smashes over and over. And then eventually he uses the body and the hands of butter to butter his popcorn and enjoy the videos of the TikToks the tween army has taken.
All right. Wow. That was brutal.
That's a hard one to decide between.
Is it?
I don't know.
All right, I'm giving that one to Ian, man. Butter hands down. I'm giving that one to Ian.
Let's just be fair, though. It takes the Hulk throwing fastballs against a buttery Forrest Gump for me to win these things. The training wheels are big.
All I'm saying is if you were a Star Wars fan,
Yeah.
The fact that I had the high ground would have given me the win.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm a Star Wars fan. I appreciate the reference. All right. That's good. Oh, man. But that was whew.
Can you wipe my hands, Jenny? Got butter.
All right, let's see what the deciding one's going to be. We've got categories 1, which is the Animal Kingdom. We've got group battle. We've got celebrities, and we've got the random wild card. So here we go, John. You are once again picking the category this time.
Wild card.
All right, we're going wild card. This can be literally anything. Ian, numbers 1 through 5. Who's your fighter?
Gonna be. Let's go with number 1. Let's just
number 1. Ian, you've got a hobo is your fighter. All right. John, numbers 2 through 5.
5.
5. A hobo versus a sumo wrestler. All right. So let's take a look at the attributes for the hobo. First of all, Ian, you've got a hobo who, number 1, can't stop dancing, and number 2, he's walking 12 wiener dogs. All right. You got a hobo who can't stop dancing and walking 12 wiener dogs.
It's like a plot to a Molly Ringwald movie in the 80s. Can't stop the wiener dogs.
John, you've got a sumo wrestler who's armed with a kitten cannon, and he's really hangry. All right. A really hangry sumo wrestler. Gosh, man, that just sounds horrible. And who's armed with a kitten cannon versus a hobo who can't stop dancing, walking 12 wiener dogs. Wow. All right. Who gets first? I think John.
Ian won, so I will let him go first.
All right, Ian. 30 seconds. Go.
Dang. Hobo in his defensive strategy, because the sumo wrestler will run at him and shoot kittens at him out of the cannon. But Hobo is trained, being homeless and riding the rails, that he will catch kittens in his mouth, eat them for fuel, and then be able to dance even harder. So as the sumo wrestler is scared by all of these wiener dogs that he has let run into the sumo wrestler, he dances all over his face and eventually cuts off his air supply, dancing so strongly. And sumo wrestler dies of asphyxiation due to dancing.
Hey, man, you went with what you had, man. Bravo.
I mean, I don't know what else to do here.
Bravo.
I do know that I've seen a hobo catch a kitten in his mouth, and it is a sight to see.
John, rebuttal. You got a sumo wrestler who's really hangry and armed with a kitten cannon. Go.
So sumo wrestlers, it takes them a little longer to get going, so they have to be strategic. And so the sumo wrestler puts on a playlist of pin, pineapple, apple, pin to get the hobo to really start dancing. And then the sumo wrestler takes his moment and finds when the hobo breaks out into the Wu-Tang Clan's famous dance, that he goes ahead and sits on him to stop the dancing. He shoots the kitten cannon at the wiener dogs and then enjoys a nice delicatessen feast of the wiener dogs as he fulfills his hunger.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing the conversations you have, isn't it? It really is. Who'd have thought?
The conversations that are engineered for you to have.
That's right. See? That's right. Oh, gosh. Guys, the winner of our great debate tonight, it was 1-1 going into this final round, and I'm going to give the winner of the debate is going to be Mr. John Oliver.
There you go,
John. I mean, sometimes it's the luck of the draw, man. I mean, it's hard to see a hobo beating a sumo wrestler, but Ian, I mean, hands down, man. It's I'm so impressed with, given the fact that a hobo can't stop dancing and has 12 and he's walking 12 wiener dogs.
I'm just saying, you've severely underestimated what The Rock has taught us about what the hobo's living. It's about drive. It's about power. He stays hungry. He devours. I'm just saying, y'all have lost.
Oh my goodness!
I think I had it at pin, pineapple, apple, pin, because that's when Steven almost couldn't get it together.
That really did it for me, because when that starts, man, just seeing the hobo just completely powerless at that point. I mean,
we call that shock and awe.
Hey guys, I really appreciate you guys joining me, man. It's been loads of fun. Thank you so much that you guys bring to the table. And once again, let me remind everybody, hey, if you've enjoyed this podcast over the past couple of weeks, make sure to catch the other 5 ways in which to make sure your kid hates Jesus and his church by checking out the T podcast with Ian Dunaway and John Oliver anywhere you get your podcasts from. Guys, any final word before we get out of here?
Man, just thanks for having us on.
Thanks for having us. Honored. Yeah, really appreciate you. Appreciate what you do for families, and excited to be a partner with you.
Hey, awesome, guys. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right.
Sounds good.
See y'all.